Money, something we use every day, earn, spend, save, and sometimes stress about. It shapes economies, builds nations, and affects almost every part of our lives. But here's the interesting part. The moment money was invented, people trying to imitate it appeared as well. Counterfeiting is almost as old as money itself, and within this history lie unbelievable stories, clever criminals, and events that change the world. Let's take a journey through this long and fascinating past, from the earliest coins to digital fraud, and take a look at the counterfeit money cases that made history. The story begins in the 600s BC, when the Lydians produced the first standardized coins. Counterfeiters wasted no time. The counterfeiters of that era used cheap metals and coated them with a thin layer of silver to deceive merchants. And the funny thing is, sometimes it actually worked. Back then, producing fake money was not only considered a crime, it was seen as an attack against the king. So the punishments were brutal: branding, cutting off limbs, exile, or execution. But despite all these dangers, people continued to counterfeit. The reason was simple: producing fake money was incredibly profitable and easier than the other jobs of the time. As time passed, counterfeiting grew as well. By the time we reached the Roman Empire, there was a massive monetary economy, which meant more fake coins. Some counterfeit Roman coins were made so well that even tax collectors couldn't tell them apart. The Romans developed their own anti-counterfeiting methods: detailed engravings, special metal mixtures, unique marks. In other words, the battle between real and fake money had already become a technological race. Things get even stranger in the Middle Ages. Not only criminals, but sometimes kings themselves were making their own money, fake. When money was needed for wars, rulers secretly reduced the amount of silver in the coins, but kept the face value the same. Technically, this was also a form of counterfeiting. The only difference was that since the king did it, it was considered legal. Of course, this led to economic crises, inflation, and the people losing trust in money. By the 17th century, counterfeiting had become a serious craft. The most famous name of this period was undoubtedly William Challoner, England's legendary master counterfeiter. Challoner was incredibly skilled. Fake coins, fake documents, fake banknotes. He could copy anything involving paper and metal. He was also quite charismatic, even tricking the government and offering to help them fight counterfeiting, all while running a massive counterfeit network. And this is where the story reaches a whole new level. The person assigned to catch Challoner was Isaac Newton. Yes, Newton, the man who discovered the laws of gravity. He was also the head of the Royal Mint and took his job very seriously. Newton went to taverns, conducted secret interrogations, spoke with informants, gathered evidence, and uncovered Challoner's entire network with the precision of a detective. Eventually, Challoner was caught and executed. The battle between the scientist and the criminal genius is considered one of the most interesting encounters in history. By the 20th century, counterfeiting was no longer an individual effort, but had reached industrial levels. During World War II, Operation Bernhard became one of the most serious counterfeiting operations ever carried out. Their goal was simple: to destroy the British economy by flooding the market with large amounts of fake sterling. The Nazis selected prisoners with special skills: engravers, printmasters, typographers, and used them to produce highly realistic banknotes. The banknotes were so convincing that even experts often couldn't distinguish them. And although the plan was never fully executed, it is still considered one of the greatest sabotage attempts in history. In recent times, counterfeiting still continues to exist. Figures like Frank Bourassa, managed to print millions of dollars in fake money. Barrasa's $250 million worth of counterfeit notes were so realistic that even experts sometimes had difficulty detecting them. And the most interesting part, after cooperating and surrendering the fake money, he was detained for only 6 weeks. To this day, debates and disagreements about this case continue. Today, counterfeiting has evolved once again. The battle is no longer about paper and metal. It involves pixels and digital technology, high-resolution printers, AI-supported forgery, cryptocurrency scams. The more money becomes digital, the smarter counterfeit money becomes. Central banks use holograms, color-shifting inks, microscopic texts, and many other security methods to protect against today's counterfeiters. This thousands-year-long story teaches us this: as long as money exists, someone will try to imitate it. Counterfeiting is not just a crime history. It is a reflection of human creativity, intelligence, ambition, and sometimes desperation. From silver-coated pieces of antiquity to digital fake currencies, the impact of counterfeit money on the real world is much bigger than we imagine. And the war between real money and counterfeit money? It will probably never end.